Hey, Raphaël.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Hey, thanks for coming in. I appreciate being able to have this conversation in person. You were saying when you first walked in, it's nice for you to see me not in a suit.
Exactly. We're both not in a suit right now. We usually see each other on CTV where we're dressed up.
Yeah, we're dressed
not
up.
Today.
Not
this
today.
is the magic of radio.
We can wear whatever we want. Okay, let's get to some serious stuff here because there's a few stories that are kind of breaking today. The first is that Santé Québec now, in the wake of the SACLIC fiasco, has decided to abandon its digital transition. So what do we know about this here?
So it's a transition that's been going on within the Health Ministry and Santé Québec now for years. So basically they are creating the Dossier Santé Numérique, the DSN, which is every file you have with your doctor at the hospital will be centralized in a single system. And also they have another one, which is to centralize the administration of the health system in a single system. So Santé Québec announces, and this is breaking news. So Santé Québec announces it's pausing its transition right now because what they say is the essential conditions for their success have not been met. And this is all coming up in the wake also of everything that's happening with SACLIC. So what I hear from multiple sources, confidential sources that have been telling me over the past few months is that within the health ministry right now, a lot of people are being nervous because they see what's happening with the SAAQ right now. And they are worried that they might be the target of an eventual public inquiry about what's happening within their ministry. It's apparently very mismanaged from what we hear, and that is why today Santé Québec is pausing this transition because this is going nowhere apparently.
Well, if people are worried, that would sort of imply that there has already been some cost overrun, that things aren't going the way they should. I think they're probably opening the door to an investigation anyway.
Absolutely, and this is certainly going to raise serious questions in the National Assembly, so we will certainly hear more details about this in the upcoming days. But this is worrying, and also I think it's just fueling cynicism among the population as to how our hardly earned taxpayers' money is used right now by the public service across the board, not just at the SAQ, but if it's also, let's not forget, the health ministry, it's half of the province's total budget. Mm-hmm. That is billions of dollars that are being spent in this ministry every year. We have to make sure that taxpayers' money is used properly, and we have to make sure that every dollar that's being spent goes in the right direction.
I mean, there's the financial side of it, but then as a consumer or user of the healthcare system, like, it's also disappointing on the level of, I would like there to be digital health records. That would make it a lot easier for me to navigate the system, and so the fact that now this is not happening because they just can't get it over the line.
And it adds up also to all the problems that we are facing with the healthcare system at the moment. The reforms that don't deliver the expected results, waiting lists that are longer and longer. We heard recently of a patient, and this is one story among many others, but one patient just last week, a few weeks ago, that died because she was waiting for an important surgery, and sadly the surgery was postponed, and in the end that person died without having the care she needed. So very frustrating to a lot of people. I understand that, and we will wait and see what's happening with Santé Québec and this transition, this digital transition. But clearly, that doesn't sound really good.
Yeah. Okay. Now for another transition, this is another story that has been sort of breaking throughout the day. This story that the principal at the Victor Rousselot Elementary School, which is the school that is just a few feet away from the Maison Benoît Labre, the safe injection site and safe inhalation site that exists in the near Atwater Market. There's a story today that, and CTV has, and we've seen this, has got our hands on this note that was sent to parents saying that a 6-year-old student today found a crack pipe on the school grounds, presumably left there by somebody who was using the Benoît Labre facilities, and actually put it in their mouth. So, we're in the middle of an election campaign. This is something that everybody at the city was very happy about when it first started. There's been nothing but problems there. This is a very serious development.
Oh yeah, it's certainly going to be picked up by Ensemble Montreal as part of this election because, as we know, this is a project that was realized under the Plante administration, under Projet Montréal, which was pushing for it to be materialized. Craig Sauvé, also the leader of Transition Montreal, who's a municipal councillor from that area, also pushed a lot for that project and defended it. So, of course, I'm expecting Ensemble Montréal to use this against their opponents, saying, see what this administration has done. It brought certainly it's raising many questions as regarding the safety of those children, and I think it should be our priority. I understand the issues and the challenges of cohabitation with homeless people, with people who are suffering from addictions. It's important to take good care of them and to offer them facilities where they can safely inject. But also the choice of the place where it was built was wrong in the first place. A lot of people raised red flags before it was built, and still the administration moved forward with the project. And now we see that, and thank God it was, I would say, just, quote here, just a crack pipe. Imagine if it were a needle. Yeah. An infected needle. If that kid was hurt by that needle or even contaminated with STDs or with HIV, for instance, because of a contaminated needle, that would be a huge scandal. So I think right now this should be our yellow flag, saying, hey, we have major issues here with Montreal and the cohabitation with the neighborhood and the primary school here. We should be asking questions, and especially in the future, whenever we have such projects, make sure that they are not implemented in residential areas, especially close to elementary schools.
Yeah,
like
I think this might be the red flag, actually.
Absolutely.
Listen, let's go to the election campaign, the federal election campaign, and that story out of Terrebonne where the election was decided by just one vote, and then it turns out that there were some postal code issues, that mail-in ballots were not counted. We're now finding out that the problem with the postal codes was known a full 3 weeks before Election Day, and nothing was done about it.
That is crazy. So the employee who was in charge of this specifically noticed the error 3 weeks prior to the election. But it was not notified to anyone before 2 weeks after the election. And we're talking here about 40 to 60, that's an estimate, but 40 to 60 ballots that were affected by this error here. So when you have an election that's been won by only one single vote, it means that Nathalie Sinclair de Gagné, so the outgoing Bloc Québécois MP here, might have been reelected had those ballots been counted in the end. We don't know, and she is contesting that in courts right now. So it's going to be, the hearings will be starting later on this month on October 20th. But this is a major issue also for Tatiana Auguste, so the MP, the Liberal MP, who was elected by only one vote here. And so far, the Liberal Party doesn't want to comment. But if I were Mark Carney, I would ask my MP to resign and call a by-election in Terrebonne.
Why?
Because you have no democratic legitimacy as an MP being elected by one single vote if there are questions raised as to, are you really the person who should be there right now? We should call a by-election to make sure that the voices of everyone in Terrebonne is being heard and that their MP represents the will of the people who voted for that MP. Whether it's the Bloc Québécois, whether it's the Liberal Party, whether it's any other party, I would have another election. I would not spend taxpayers' money on fighting in courts against the Bloc Québécois to keep that seat that was won with one single vote. I would just be fair and say, listen, there are doubts right now about the results of that election. Let's do another one. Let's do another round. You know what? Let's erase that and go back to square one and have another election to let the people of Terrebonne decide really whom they want to represent them for the next 4 years.
Yeah, but Carney's never going to do that.
Of course not, because he's short. Yeah, he has a very...
And I would think likely, given what's happened, the likelihood would be that the Bloc Québécois candidate gets in if there's another.
Probably, but you know what? I mean, we'll see what the judge decides in the end. But we will have a fight in courts, and there will be people fighting against the Bloc Québécois using taxpayers' money to defend the government's position on this. And I think that it would be just fair of the leader of the Liberal Party to say, you know what? There are doubts. I don't want anyone to doubt that my MP representing Terrebonne, Tatiana Auguste, is there for the right reasons. We should call ourselves, not wait until there's a decision made by a judge. We should call ourselves a new by-election and let the people of Terrebonne decide about it.
All right. Raphaël Melançon, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Matt.
iHeartRadio is throwing it back.
2010s, the decade.
To the days of huge hits and unforgettable anthems. A non-stop stream of the biggest and best.
Drake, Rihanna, Beyonce, Katy, Gaga, The Weeknd.
And more. All your decade-defining favorites all in one place.
Hi, it's Katy Perry.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
This is Kesha.
Find 2010's The Decade on the free iHeartRadio app. Preset the station so it's always one tap away.